Hello, folks. Noel Hunter here. Another episode of Sit and Have a Laugh with Pat. My little sweetie pie on my lap right here and enjoying it too. I want to talk a little about, we was up in Washington, D.C. We decided to go see the zoo there because they had pandas and one of them just had a baby. I think it was the first panda that was ever born in the United States or born in captivity. The more we get on the subway, away we go. Took a ride over there, got off right there at the darn zoo and went in there. Let me tell you why, folks, it was like this. My mother can walk a little bit on flat ground. No way in hell she's going to be able to do them hills. I had to get a wheelchair. Let me tell you what, I'm just glad I was in a lot better shape back then. I am now, because I pushed her up and down them hills till my tongue come out. But we seen all the zoo. It was beautiful. It was fantastic. Well, we went on back to the hotel. We left the next morning. We going to see the Statue of Liberty. That's one thing my mother really wanted to see. So off we go. So we get over there and decide we're going to catch the ferry over New Jersey instead of right there in New York, because I didn't want to really do no drive down New York. And I heard that the ferry's kind of in the bad part of town. So we went to New Jersey. Anyway, we get on the ferry, and here we go. And we turn that corner, that magnificent lady coming to view. I said, Mother, there she is. I looked at her and she was smiling. She had some tears coming down her cheek. Makes me want to cry right now thinking about it. She said, that is the most beautiful sight I've ever seen in my life. She said, there's been so many people that's come through here that made our country. That's the truth. You stop and think, how many people come through Ellis Island? I know my wife's kin folks. They come through there. Our daddy was first generation. They come from Yugoslavia. And we got over there and they had a pretty good line to go up into the statue. And I knew Mother could never make it. There's a little spiral staircase going all the way up there. And it's the same staircase you come down and go up. It just made to where you pass the people as you're going up. And me and my son both had our shoulders like this to get up there between the handrails and the pipe that was built on. And we was probably, I'm going to say, 3.5 to 4 hours from the time we started going up the base. Had to stand in line before we went up the base. Tom went up the base, and he got on the elevator, and he got off the elevator and started climbing the stairs. It was 3.5 to 4 hours. But you know what, though? It was worth every bit of it. Because what I really wanted to see was how that thing was made, the structure. Stuff like that's always fascinated me. And they just completely had rebuilt it. And all the inside, it looked like probably 3-inch by 2-inch stainless steel. And all the curves and everything of that whole statue in the copper is coated on the outside. It was something to see. Now, we couldn't go up in the torch because they had some damage or something, and they wouldn't let anybody go up there. But you could only step up top no more than about 3 minutes at the most. Go up there and look, see New York and see the Twin Towers and all like that, the ocean and the harbor and everything. You had to start back down, but it was worth every minute of it. And when you got down below, you got to see how they hammered out all that copper. They made stuff out of wood, like a big toe. That thing be that long and that big around. It was made out of wood. They put that copper on it and hammered it out. Then it was all riveted together. That's how the whole thing was made. They had molds made out of wood for everything, that whole Statue of Liberty. That was a work of art, let me tell you. That was beautiful, fantastic. And we wanted to go see Ellis Island, which is right there on another island. It's a separate island, but they were rebuilding and rebuilding the whole thing, and redoing it all, so they wasn't letting people go over there yet. So me and the wife said, we will come back and see that, because that's where her kinfolk come from. Now, my kinfolk, my grandpa on my daddy's side, he come from over in Spain on a 3-mast sailing schooner, so he didn't have to go through Ellis Island. He had his own boat. But anyway, we got ready to leave there. We went back to the hotel, and we left there, and we're going to go to see my mama's sister that lived in Dayton, Ohio. It's been a couple of days. I hadn't seen her in a good while, I get out there, and I didn't know which way to go because there was no signs. They were doing a lot of work on the road and highway. There was no signs. Next thing I know, I had done got down in a bad part of town, let me tell you. Boy, you see cars jacked up with no wheels, screen doors hanging by one hinge, prostitutes walking up down the street, drug dealers here, there, like that. Just all of them eyeballing us pretty damn good, I said, good, there's a cop behind us. So he come up, I had my hand out the window, playing the hell no, he just gave it, yeah, he got the hell out of there. He probably figured he didn't need to be in there either. But we finally, and it was a one-way street, so we had to keep going. We finally got our way out of there. I've been over there to New Jersey twice, caught the ferry going to Ellis Island, the Statue of Liberty, and both darn times when I left there, I got lost every time because there wasn't no sign to tell you which way to go. But it was a fantastic trip and something that I treasure my whole life, seeing my mother being emotional about seeing the grand lady, you know. All right, we get up to my aunt's, and of course they want to take it and do stuff and all like that. And my uncle, one married to my aunt, he was in the Air Force and he retired there in Dayton. That's how they wound up being in Dayton, Ohio. Well, they got the Air Force Museum right there in Dayton. And I'm going to tell you what, we went to the Aeronautical Museum in Washington, D.C. I hate to say this, but I think that Air Force Museum in Dayton was better than what they had there in Washington, D.C. That is one of the most fantastic Air Force museums I've ever seen in my life. They had Onella Gay, the one that dropped the atomic bomb. They had the big boy and the little boy like that, the atomic bomb. They had replicas in there. They had that, they call it the Blackbird, that great big old thing that flies clean out in space. It's black, goes under radar, can't detect, and all this stuff. But big wings is all it is, just a big triangle wing. Huge. But we see a lot of stuff there. And dang, not only did I get to see my aunt and uncle, hadn't been probably 10 years since I've seen them, they took us out to eat. And they took us about 60 miles where they lived. I'm not sure, I think it was Dunkers or it could have been Arms, I'm not sure.
It was Dunkers.
But whatever it was, there was no power there. So it was only open during the daytime. We went in there and we sat around the table. There was like 7 or 8 of us, I guess, maybe more. I think some of the kids even come, you know. We had about 14 to 15 people all together. And they put us at a huge table. I mean, a huge table. And we ordered roast. And all the trimmings and everything. They brought a half a cow out there. Let me tell you what. I ain't my life ever seen a roast like that. On a huge big platter with a carving knife in it. You carve it yourself. You take a fork and break it. It's so tender. They had homemade mashed potatoes. You name about 6 different kinds of vegetables. Then, when the meal was over with, they started bringing pies and cakes. They had 5 or 6 different kinds of pies and cakes. It was unreal. And out of all of us together, I don't think the meal cost them more than about maybe $150, $200. And I could not believe the amount of food they brought out there. It was unreal. And very delicious, too. It was good. We had a good time here in Dayton, Ohio. And I think one time I might tell you all about a few more trips we took that we really enjoyed, kind of entertaining, you know. And I will say hello and goodbye and see you later, folks. That'll be at least 6 minutes.